beautiful person watching. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Benna. Thank you so much for clicking and watching this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and join the Healthy with Benna family. To my old and returning subscribers, thank you all for the love and support. Today I'll be sharing with you all how I make this air fryer juicy pork chops, potato wedges, and Brussels sprout. This is such a quick and easy dinner recipe, especially if you are a busy household. It is so delicious and I promise you're going to love it. Please stick around. Let's jump right into the recipe. We are going to start first by marinating our pork chops and then we'll set it aside. I did go ahead and wash my pork chops and I used some paper towel to dry out all the liquid. It is so important that before you put in any foods in your air fryer, wet foods, you make sure you dry out the liquid as much as possible so you can get the best results. Next, I have here my list of spices and herbs. I know I love my spices, you can already tell, and I'm using the homemade jerk seasoning for the pork chops. Feel free to use whichever you prefer, and I'm also going to put in the description box below all the ingredients that I used for this recipe. And so in this plate I have some fresh parsley, coriander, some fresh thyme, scotch bonnet. Now this is totally optional because it kicks. If you don't like it spicy, you can leave it out. I have some ginger, garlic, some scallions, some fennel seeds, black peppercorn, allspice, brown sugar, nutmeg, and njangsa. I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil to just blend it, and I'll marinate it and set it aside, and then we'll proceed to the next step. So once our pork chops are on the side marinating, I'm going to go ahead and start prepping our potatoes. I did go ahead and use my potato brush to scrub down the skin. Now if you're going to be cooking or baking your potatoes, it is important that you scrub down the skin properly. Next, I'll proceed to cut it up in wedges and I'll soak them in this water for about an hour. Now if you soak your potatoes, it's going to draw out some of the starch and it will help give you a crispy result in the air fryer or in the oven if you're baking them. Next, I'll go ahead and wash my Brussels sprouts and I'll cut off the tips and I'll halve them. You can also quarter your Brussels sprouts, whichever shape you prefer. And I'm doing all this so once we start cooking, we just have everything ready to go and it makes cooking easier on the air fryer. So fam, now comes the fun part. We get to start cooking. I hope you have been enjoying the video so far, and if you have, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. So I just went ahead and used my avocado oil to spray my air fryer basket. Now I'm not going to line my basket with any parchment paper or aluminum foil. You can do that if you want to. I don't mind washing it just because when I put my food directly on the basket, it gives me better results. My food becomes more crispy or crunchier, so that's why I'm going to put my pork chops on my basket. I'll cook this in 2 batches because I don't want to stack it up. The worst thing you want to do in the air fryer is to stack up your food. You won't get the results. Always make sure it's better to cook in 2 batches rather than stacking up your foods. Now my air fryer comes with a preset button for steak, which is 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 minutes. I'm not going to cook my pork chops obviously for 8 minutes, so I'm going to adjust the timing. So I'll start first by cooking it on 380 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes, and once that is cooked, I will flip it over for another 5 minutes or 4 minutes I believe on 400 to get the final results. So 8 minutes later, I'm checking in on our pork chops. It looks so gorgeous already. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, and I did leave some of the jerk seasoning to the side. I'm going to use it and just rub it on top of the pork chops once more before we put it back in the air fryer. This time around, I'm going to adjust my heating to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and I'll put it back in for another 5 minutes. Now this is going to help it crisp up and really give it that beautiful golden brown color. Now I do prefer my steak or my pork chops well done, any of my meats. If you prefer yours halfway, just adjust your timing to that. So once a second batch of pork chops goes back into the air fryer, I'm going to start prepping our potatoes. What I did was I went ahead and strained the water from the potatoes, and I also rinsed it out again. Make sure you rinse it out so you take that excess starch off the potatoes. Now I'm putting this towel, is very clean towel that I use in my kitchen. I'm going to use it and just pat it dry. Make sure the potatoes dry properly. You remove all the water that you can possibly remove from the potatoes before you go ahead and start seasoning your potatoes. Now I really love my potatoes well seasoned, as you can see. So in this bowl I've just added some salt, some Italian seasoning, roasted garlic, some black pepper, paprika, and avocado oil. I'm going to mix it properly and get my potatoes ready for the air fry. You want to make sure that you mix so the seasoning can combine, and do as much as you like. I love my potatoes really well seasoned. It just makes it so delicious to eat. So our second batch of pork chops is all ready. It looks so gorgeous, so juicy. I cannot wait to just start digging in. I did go ahead and wash my air fryer basket and the dripping tray just because there was so much grease, and you don't want to put that in your sink because it's going to clog your sink. I just used some paper towel to soak up the oil and put it in my trash bag. Also make sure to either wipe down or wash your air fryer in between cooking so that it doesn't stick on it or makes it hard to wash it at the end. I did spray a little bit of avocado oil on the basket. I'm going to proceed to put my potatoes, and I'll air fry them for 12 minutes on 400 degrees, and I'll check it halfway to see how it looks like. So 6 minutes later, I'm checking in on our potatoes. My air fryer comes with a preset button for root vegetables, which is 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 minutes. Now looking at this right now, I don't think the potatoes are going to be ready in 12 minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it back in for the other 6 minutes, and then once it comes out, I'll see how much time is needed to put it back in, because we want our potatoes to be crispy and have that golden brown color. So I will flip them over and then put it back in, and we'll see how it looks like. Our potatoes are ready. They're looking so gorgeous, golden brown. Oh my gosh, I love them. They came out so good. They cooked for a total of 18 minutes. So after the 12 minutes, I had to add 6 more minutes. This is the thing with air fryer, especially when you're starting to use it. You want to adjust your timing depending on what food you're cooking. Even though I have a preset for root vegetables, I had to adjust the time as well. I'll just let you listen to the whistle and the crisp from the potatoes. Now let's go ahead and air fry our Brussels sprouts. Now before we do this, let me just tell you something about air fried vegetables. They are absolutely delicious, trust me. If you don't love your vegetables, try doing them in the air fryer. Even if you don't have an air fryer, try baking them. And the trick is to season your vegetables with your preferred seasoning. Any seasoning that you love, just go ahead and pour it in, sprinkle some oil, put it in the oven or air fryer. Trust me, they taste absolutely delicious. So for our Brussels sprouts, I am using some salt, black pepper, some Italian seasoning, some dried parsley, some paprika, roasted garlic, Mrs. Dash, and some avocado oil. I'm going to go ahead and just mix it properly, make sure that everything combines properly, and then I'll proceed to air fry them. Once again, my air fryer comes with a preset button for vegetables, which is 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. I'm going to put it right in, and 5 minutes later it's going to notify me to shake, so I'll check it and shake the vegetables, and at that point I'm going to assess where we are, if the 5 minutes left are going to cook it properly or not. But I'll show you how it looks like. Please make sure you keep watching for more tips. So 5 minutes later, here's how our Brussels sprouts are looking. My air fryer did notify me to shake, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my spoon. Now you want to make sure you're using a silicone in your air fryer because you don't want to scratch the basket. I'll just go ahead and just flip it over. I did put it back in the air fryer for another 5 minutes, but I adjusted the heat from 300 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. That's because if you want that crisp and the golden brown color, I did increase my heat. Even after 5 minutes I didn't get the desired result, so I went ahead and added 2 more minutes. After flipping it again, I added 2 more minutes, and then our Brussels sprouts are ready. Dinner is ready, family. You are invited. Please grab a chair and let's enjoy this delicious air fryer dinner. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video today with me. If you watch it till this point, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up so you can support the channel to grow. Share the video with your family, with your friends. Tell them about Healthy with Benna. Thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to join the family so we can continue to grow together. Thank you again for watching, and until I come your way next time with something healthy and delicious, please continue to drink lots of water, stay hydrated, be well, be safe. Thank you. Bye.